SEC basketball tournament time. Welcome to Second to None. I'm Michael. I'm joined with my co-hosts Chris and Matt, and we're going to go over the SEC tournament that starts tomorrow night in Vandy. In Nashville.
You said
Vandy,
it
pretty
right.
much.
You said
Vandy's
it right.
Vandy's in Nashville, so why not? And Vandy's going to kick it off. So absolutely. Hey, gentlemen, how you guys doing, man?
Oh, doing good. Weather's nice. Finally got rid of the rain. We got quite a bit of rain here lately in the month of between February and March.
Okay. I don't know what you just did, Matt, but your volume just sounded a lot better when whatever you did. So do that
Okay.
again.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's good.
Good.
Chris, you ready for
So,
this SEC tournament?
well, the clocks changed this week. We have a full moon this week.
Anything could happen,
The,
huh?
the week ends with the Friday the 13th. I'm not sure if I'm ready for this week or not. I think it's going to be a madhouse in Nashville.
I think it is. I think a lot of people have been waiting for this. I don't think it's been in Nashville for. Well, was it in Nashville last year?
It's in Nashville every year now, isn't it?
It is
Oh,
Yes.
now. I think
permanent
they
home, I
moved that.
think.
Yeah.
We
So
call it
I think
we call it
I
rubber
think
ring South.
Oh, stop.
yeah. It trust me, bro. You know
If
Rubber
I'm if
Arena.
I'm not mistaken, the last time Kentucky played in Rupp South, they got beat.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a repeat of that this year. Absolutely, but it will be fun. Everyone's looking forward to this as well too. So, if it's your first time ever joining in, it's the second to none. We talk SEC basketball, SEC football, and hopefully soon we will incorporate SEC baseball. But we're here to talk about the SEC tournament this weekend, and I think all fan bases are ready to go.
Did I
They're
hear
just
that
ready
right?
to get in.
A
What's that?
Kentucky guy wants to talk. A Kentucky guy wants to talk SEC baseball.
Oh, yeah, I know. I
Okay,
just
okay.
well, it is what it is.
I mean,
So
stranger things have happened. You got
it's
Vanderbilt
a
fans that talk about football.
it's a full moon week. So there you go. Ending on
There you
Friday the
go.
13th. So guys, so we just gonna just because of the time and stuff, we just gonna just kind of jump right into this. So the yearly awards came out this year, and I don't think anybody really. I think there was maybe one or two players that was in consideration, but I think overall, I think halfway through mid year, uh, maybe even as a Kentucky fan, it's kind of like I think everyone kind of knew who was going to go ahead and get that and get that player of the year. So the player of the year in the SEC goes to DK. This kid, man, he balled out all year long, and I've been saying it. If Tennessee doesn't have DK, Tennessee is not where they at right now. I mean, we simply watched him take over games. And Chris, you've been calling it all year. You're not even surprised.
Not at all. Not at all. Uh,
Like, even in his last game, like if he didn't put up 40 points, Kentucky was going to beat those guys by probably by 25 points. But
well,
DK just wouldn't go away, man.
think about this too. Tennessee only pressed for about 3 minutes of that ball game.
Ooh, gave us a hard time.
Imagine if they would have pressed the whole game. I mean,
Mm.
it would have changed things a lot.
I
But
don't know. I think we would
DK,
adjust.
so DK, if you didn't know, he became a member of an elite club this week on
What's that?
Saturday. There are only two members of this club. Back to back 35-point games in the SEC. Only two players have ever done it.
Who was the other one?
Shaq O'Neal at LSU and Dalton Connect at Tennessee.
And Chris, man, the history buff, bro. You have all the stuff in play. These numbers you come up with, that's awesome. So yeah, Matt, he was a good player, wasn't he? Or he is a
Yes.
good player.
Oh yeah, he is a great player. Dalton Connect. Yeah, he showed the country this year why he deserves to be SEC Player of the Year. Of course, I thought Antonio Reeves should have had a little bit more consideration, but in SEC play, Dalton Connect averaged almost 25 points a game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it wasn't much more than Reeves, but you
It was
know,
like a point overall between both
yeah,
average, but
it was. But Dalton had 35-point games. I don't think Reeves didn't have no 35 points game, and he definitely didn't have a 40-point game. So when you putting up numbers like that, I guess it's really hard to I guess it's kind of hard um, to actually look over that.
he's an awesome
So
kid. He's gonna make some NBA team proud.
oh, he is, yeah, yeah. And the defensive player is Sakai Ziegler. Um,
Yeah,
you
him or
know,
Ratchet. Oh man, he's a great player. He is actually one of Tennessee's most valuable players. I think. He's if you don't have him, I mean, he's what stirs the defense.
he does,
Yeah,
bro. He gets things. And Chris, you called this too.
called it. I would like to see the voting on this because honestly, I don't think either one in the voting. I don't think either one of them were particularly close. I think they were pretty close to unanimous.
I wonder the last time when Tennessee had the best player of the year and defensive player of the year. That would be a good stat to know, to just to see what they see when Tennessee has actually did that last. Tennessee doesn't get a lot of accolades, and I
No, but
guess it speaks for. Hey, I guess it speaks for itself.
yeah, I think Tennessee's only had two Player of the Years.
Them,
And it,
Houston was one of them, right?
yes,
well, they had three then because I think Grant Williams got it.
I'm not sure he did. I don't think he did.
Uh, he got that a defensive player of the year, one of the two. I know he was up there when he was at
I,
Tennessee.
I think he got Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay, but nonetheless, congratulations to those guys for winning Players of the Year as well. Lamont Paris of South Carolina was named the head coach of the year. So congratulations to all three of those guys for their accomplishment. I think it's really big for South Carolina because I think those guys was kind of slated to. I think those guys was kind of slated to end the year, towards the bottom. So for them to have the year that they did, I think it was only right that he actually got that. That he got that. I don't know, unless you guys know of another coach.
In the men, I think they got that right, but I actually believe that they got the women wrong.
Who got coach of the year for women
Dawn Staley did.
again?
Yes, I actually think they got it wrong. Now, don't
Who?
get me wrong. I think there's great. I think she very well deserved it, but this sounds kind of homerish. But when you're picked to finish last in the league, you go out and you end up sixth in the SEC. You win 22 ball games. First time you've had a 20-win season in 10 years.
I can see that.
You won 6 SEC road games, breaking a program record. I think Shea Ralph was very deserving of Coach of the Year.
I can see how you can. Yeah.
But I understand why Staley won it. Back-to-back undefeated seasons. That's tough to do in the SEC.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and
And
that
replaced the entire starting lineup. So I get why they picked her. But I think Shea Ralph had a good argument in that case.
She was up there with some votes and everything. So, yeah. Well, nonetheless, congratulations to all them guys who earned those awards this year. Superb job, you guys earned it, and everything. So, but the big thing is, guys, SEC tournament starts tomorrow night, man. It is ready to go. It is good. Teams who on the bubble for the NCAA tournament, who's not on the bubble, who would like to go to the tournament, this is their last and final chance. Like, if once you lose, then you're not going to the dance. It's over. So as they say, if you want to go to the dance, you got to win the whole thing. And so hopefully that's the case right now. So we're gonna just jump right into this tournament. What do we have?
Your
That's
alarm's
my
going
good.
off. Time to get up.
And that's time for me to. That's my 5 minute warning that it's almost 4. I'm usually up by 1:30 anyway. So, but I lose track of time sometimes. But so we're just gonna just get right into this bracket right fast. Where is this at? There we go. SEC tournament, man. I wrote down some notes for each, going all the way up until Saturday. Uh, so I started out, of course, in the first game of the night, um, you get Georgia and Missouri. Who you guys got, man?
Of course, Georgia. I mean, I don't see Missouri giving Georgia. I don't see Missouri giving Georgia any kind of game. Stranger things happen, but I feel like Georgia's will advance to the Thursday game.
Georgia only beat them by 8 points last ball game.
Yeah.
Five. Yeah,
I
they only
mean,
won by 8. So,
Missouri didn't have
Georgia.
a single conference game, so I mean, I guess they could. Stranger things have happened.
absolutely. Yeah.
Missouri will become the second team in SEC history to go 0-19.
Well, okay. So
They can come join my elite club.
well, that ain't happening. So we got Georgia moving on to play Florida next. We got next Thursday. These are all Wednesday games. First round, we got Vandy and Arkansas. I got Arkansas in this game, man. I know
Stop
Vandy
it.
owns. Hey, I know Vandy owns them. I know Vandy just beat them. They just beat them but they just beat them 85-82 on the road. So, hey, let's see what happens. Matt, who you
Vanderbilt.
got?
Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say that, can any one of these 4 teams win 5 games in 5 days? Is that possible? Yes, it can happen. The last team to do it was Georgia, and when it was down in the Georgia Dome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick Vanderbilt in this game, only because Stackhouse. He's the most well dressed coach in the SEC.
He brings it.
He breaks it.
So,
And you just don't know what to get with. You just don't know what you're going to get because Vanderbilt. I mean, they've won some pretty close. They had some pretty good wins down towards the end of the season. It's not been
Yeah.
the great. It's not like last year when they went on a tear and ended up, winning 12 out of 14 games to end the regular season last year. And so I'm going to stick with Vanderbilt.
I'm going to go with Jerry Stackhouse owns Musselman.
Okay.
He's won the last 3 in a row against him. He's 3-1 actually against him. And I'm going to go with Vanderbilt beating him. I'm just not sold Arkansas is capable of beating Vanderbilt right now. And I don't know why that is. They've got the athletes.
Yeah, they do.
They're just not getting it done.
And see, that's the thing with Arkansas. Matt just mentioned that he's thinking about which one of these 4 teams could actually really go on a run and actually win 5 games. And when he says that, when you think about Arkansas, just like you just said, Chris, Arkansas has the players. They're just not putting it together. Like Kentucky played them, and they had 2 opportunities to beat us. They blew it both times. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like they're a team that can actually make some noise. It's just a matter of which version of Arkansas are you going to see show up.
I would actually go the other way. Guard play is what wins these tournaments.
Yeah.
And of course, you got Tennessee, you've got Kentucky, Alabama. You've got guys that have guards. But if you're looking at Arkansas and Vanderbilt and which one has the guard play,
Yeah.
Arkansas don't line up with Ezra Mannion and Ty Lawrence. It just don't.
It's gonna be good. I think this is one of those I think this is one of those Wednesday night games where, as much as people want to say, well, you got a 13 seed and a 12 seed, let's just get it over. The tickets was actually $2.99 earlier in the week, so
Yep.
you know what I'm saying. So that so we got so you guys got Vanderbilt advancing.
Mm-hmm.
The Thursday game, you got the 9 Mississippi State and you got 8 LSU. Chris, who you got?
I got it LSU. I think they're hungry. They are. They're the same kind of team Vanderbilt was last year. Just dangerous enough to make a run.
Okay.
They're sitting on the bubble. They know they have to win a couple games in this tournament to get in.
Yeah.
I think they get it done.
I don't think LSU is even on the bubble, are they?
They are one of the teams mentioned as being on the bubble.
Okay. All right. Matt, who you got? And just keep in mind Mississippi State beat them by 20 this year. They beat them 87-67. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I think LSU is a dangerous team. I think that they could, in order to even have a chance to make the tournament, I think they have to make it to the Sunday game. That would give them 20 victories. They'd have to win 3 games and then make the game on Sunday. But I'll go with LSU. They're their coach come from Murray State. He knows how to recruit. I mean, obviously,
Okay.
but I see LSU advancing.
All right. I'm going to go with Mississippi State in this ball game. I think Tulo Smith is going to be just a little bit too much for those guys to handle. I hope they don't. I hope Mississippi State doesn't say we beat them by 20, so let's overlook them because LSU is a team that would definitely show up. That's why they are 8 and Western are 9. So we got Vandy advancing to play South Carolina. Who do you guys got?
Well,
I'm waiting to hear Mike. Matt.
South Carolina. I
got South Carolina advancing too.
Unless Vandy can just pull a rabbit out of their hat.
Yeah. I will say this: South Carolina beat Vandy by 15, and they beat Arkansas by 13. So I think either way, regardless of who wins that Vandy and Arkansas, I think South Carolina will have the edge. I think they would play with a chip on their shoulder, knowing that they had a chance to be a top 4 seed and they let it go at the end of the season. I think they're going to have something to play for.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go with the first real upset in the tournament.
You got Vandy over South Carolina?
I got Vandy over South Carolina, and the reason for that is we've seen Ezra Mannion and Tyron Lawrence go off at Bridgestone Arena before.
Okay.
They've played there before. They've done it. This South Carolina players, they haven't. The only player on the South Carolina team that's got any experience at Bridgestone would be Miles Studi.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
So I think the experience pays off for Mannion and Lawrence, and they pull a sneaky upset right here.
Wow.
South Carolina's not been playing good lately.
No, they haven't, and I think that's why they're upset because they knew they should have got that double bye, considering how they started the year off and the way that they actually ended the year was definitely not what they wanted, to see. So that's a split between you guys. Next we got Ole Miss and Texas A&M. Who you guys got? They split in the regular season.
I'm going Wade Baldwin and Texas A&M.
I think I am too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got A&M winning that ball game.
Texas A&M.
Okay. So we had Georgia advancing over Missouri, playing Florida. That's a game that Florida should run away with. Florida actually played. They actually beat They beat Georgia by 4 points, and they beat in overtime. Florida beat Georgia. If Georgia wins, Florida already beat them in overtime by 4. And if Missouri wins, then Florida only beat Missouri by 6.
Yeah,
Who you
I'm
got,
gonna go with
Matt? You gonna go Florida?
I'm going Florida. Yeah,
Yeah, I think either way, I think Florida gets it done.
I think the Gators are playing awful good right now. I mean, they've sort of shocked the SEC a little bit this year. I mean, they started out slow, but Florida's come on at the end of the year. I mean, the coaching staff for them, they're heading to the tournament. I mean, it's only a matter of seeding. You know,
Yeah, I think they're safely. I think they're safely in the tournament,
yeah,
for sure. Okay, back up top to the quarterfinals on Friday. We had LSU moving past Mississippi State to face Tennessee. This is when it gets good, guys. Chris, who you got? LSU or Tennessee?
is there any question? I've said it all year. I think the best team in the SEC is Tennessee, and I don't think it's particularly close.
All right. I
I'm
should
going
mute you.
Tennessee. Moving on.
I should mute you, but hey, but we won't. We will.
eat
So
it.
we got uh, between Auburn and let's just say South. Let's say it's South Carolina against Auburn, because Auburn has beat South Carolina by 40, and I didn't get the Western. I just assumed that it would be Arkansas. I didn't write that down, but we know Auburn beat Vandy and Arkansas this year. So is
They
that
also beat South Carolina,
who did
handled them
Arkansas?
easily. Auburn beat South Carolina easily,
Exactly. Yeah, I got that. And they
handled
beat
them.
them by 40 points. Yeah,
Well, they beat Arkansas easily, and they beat South Carolina easily.
yeah. So no matter who out. So are we ready to say that no matter who Auburn plays,
Yep,
they're
yep.
advancing? Okay.
I think they get
Yeah,
into the semifinals.
So we had Texas A&M moving past Ole Miss to a rematch with Kentucky. They knocked off Kentucky this year by what 2 points, 3 points, something like that. They lost. They
Yep.
lost by 5 in overtime
yeah.
to Texas A&M. This is a game that Kentucky has wanted to get a second chance at. It won't be easy, but Matt, who you got? Is it any question?
Of course, Kentucky's going to advance. They're out for blood. Kentucky's on a mission. Uh,
Yeah,
Uganda has really made a difference in
yeah,
the
they
defensive
have.
role, and it's a new season. I mean, we've got all of our players back healthy, and Trey Mitchell, we've got to get him going. He is he's got to get back to what he was doing the first 15, 16 games of the year. He was averaging 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2
Yeah.
assists, and
For for me it's going to be two things. We didn't have DJ Wagner that ball game, and Edwards was not playing anywhere like he was playing now. Nowhere like he was playing now. So you add those two guys the way those two guys are playing now back into the mix, and I think Kentucky, regardless who comes from that bracket, Kentucky's going to win easily. Yeah, Chris, you shaking your head.
mm,
I've actually got Texas A&M beating Kentucky in this round. I've
That's why I love it.
I've called Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M is a team that has got all the tools to make it to the championship game.
You know what? I mean, I'm not going to take away from their players, but like I said, Kentucky wasn't fully healthy, and that's an excuse that everybody in college basketball can use. That hey, we wasn't healthy, we got beat or whatever. But if you look at the production that we're getting now from Edwards, if you look at the production that has stepped up even more from Edwards really the production, and now we didn't have Wagner. You know what I'm saying? In every game that he missed, we lost. All the games that so in a situation like this, we get those two guys back playing at an elite level. They didn't have to worry about trying to played with those two guys, and we didn't have those two guys, and it took overtime, and they only beat us by 5. So on the road. So I like our
I,
chances with Kentucky.
I see
Uh,
Kentucky coming in relaxing. I see them relaxed. You're going to see a different
it's a
Kentucky
business
team.
trip, bro.
Yes.
It's a
So
business.
here's why I don't think Kentucky will be relaxed. Remember, Mitch Barnhart came out and put some pressure on Calipari. And if Calipari's riding that pressure and he's pushing them kids, I don't think they do come out relaxed.
I mean, it's evident. I mean, you saw a totally different team when Kentucky went down to Tennessee. We wasn't healthy against Tennessee. Tennessee pushed us around the whole ball game. Tennessee against Tennessee, Kentucky was the most physical the most physical team outside of the last 3 minutes of the ball game is when they started doing full court pressure. That ain't the same Tennessee. They came in locked. It was a business trip. It just was. And that's
Yeah.
why we was able to go down to Tennessee. And every time Tennessee made a run, Kentucky combated it. Kentucky said, okay, we're not going to get rattled. We're here to take care of business, and we're going to keep it up. So that's why I got Kentucky moving on to the semifinals on Saturday. Next, we got Alabama and Florida. This is a very good matchup, man, because this right here can go either way. They split the series this year, so this is a toss up. Chris, who you got? Alabama or Florida?
I got I got Florida winning that. They just beat them last week.
Yeah.
I got Florida winning that. I'm not convinced Alabama's that good. Haven't been all year.
I tell you what, if Alabama's not hitting the three, they look out of sync too. Matt, who you got?
I have to go along with Chris on this. Florida, I mean, Alabama, I mean, they can score 90 to 100 points as they've shown. I mean, it's just their defense is just not really good. That's that's one thing that sticks out along with the 3-point shooting. I mean, Florida's, you know, they move on. They'll advance.
Got it. So we're into the semifinals for Saturday. Um, are we looking at a Tennessee and Auburn rematch? Who you?
Yep.
I have to assume since you said Tennessee, since you just ready to say Tennessee's the best team. Okay, they got the SEC title. Congratulations to those guys. It's about time they do something unproductive. You got Tennessee over Auburn, right, Chris?
I actually have Auburn winning this game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. Matt, who you
And
got? Tennessee or Auburn?
I'll say Tennessee.
Okay. All right.
and so let me explain why I'm going Auburn here. Tennessee's already going to be a 1 or a 2 seed. They've already got it. And I don't think Rick Barnes is going to put a lot of effort into winning a tournament that doesn't mean anything to them other than bragging rights.
I got you. That makes sense.
So I just, we know that Bruce Pearl loves playing in Nashville.
Okay.
This is right up his alley. And I just got a gut feeling that Auburn pulls the upset here and no harm, no foul. Because Tennessee's still going to be a 1 or a 2 seed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They've already locked up one of those.
But I feel like Tennessee's going to play to win. Auburn plays good defense, but I think Tennessee's going to treat this like any other game. I mean, unless Auburn can stop, you know, Tennessee, and I mean, as far as their shooting, connect, I mean, and they're inside, they've got to, we'll just see how it goes. I think Tennessee advances in this game because Auburn, they defense is what makes them go.
I think the SEC wants to see another Kentucky and Tennessee rematch on Sunday. I think so. I think they want to see that slugfest
Whether
again.
they want to see it or not is
Exactly, yeah. But you know what though? At the end of the day, while it doesn't really break or make Tennessee. And like I said, Tennessee's good. Actually, I think North Carolina's gonna get that last 4 seed. and I think Tennessee's going to move down to the 4th seed. But we'll talk about the March Madness. But I really believe Tennessee, by not winning Saturday, even though they won the SEC, I have a feeling just somehow, I think North Carolina going to get that last 4th seed. I just see it happening. Um, Kentucky and Florida. Um, who you got, Chris?
Well, I've actually got Texas A&M in that game, and I
Oh,
would
that's
have
right.
Texas,
That's right.
and I've actually got Texas A&M playing their way into the finals.
Oh wow, man. that's bold, real bold.
Yeah.
So Matt, I know you got Kentucky, and then you also picked Florida. So are you ready to say that it's going to be an easy
It's,
game for Kentucky?
we're gonna have Saturday afternoon. Kentucky's gonna have Gators for supper. It's gonna be Gator soup.
You know what? And Nashville, Kentucky is getting ready to. As long as we don't come down here and get beat like we did last year, when people didn't even have a chance to unpack their suitcases yet, and Vandy knocked out Kentucky. Like if people were sick to their stomach, I do not see that happening this year. Kentucky fans, the Big Blue Nation will show up big, and large, and in person in Nashville, and I think that arena is going to be rocking because of that. And I got Kentucky moving on to Sunday myself.
I
So,
believe it's gonna be a repeat of like 2017 when De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk and that those troops went down there and won the SEC tournament. I just have
yeah,
a feeling
it's going to be
it's
one of those days. So, for the final game on Sunday, Chris, you got Auburn and Texas A&M. Nobody wants to see that, bro. Come on, Chris. Nobody wants to see a Auburn and Texas A&M SEC tournament championship game. People gonna be like,
Whether
who are these teams?
whether they want to see it or not, I think that's what's going to happen.
And you know what? I tell you what, that would be the last chance. Even if they make it to Sunday, I don't know if it's going to be good enough for Texas A&M to make it into the tournament. But I tell you what, it will give the committee a little second to pause for a second. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So you got A&M or you got Auburn winning the championship?
Don't tell Kenny this, but I actually have Auburn winning the SEC championship.
Oh my goodness, dude, that's crazy.
never hear the end of it.
I know, right? He didn't hear that. The Matt, who you got? Tennessee, because I know you got Tennessee going to Sunday, and you got Kentucky. Who do you
Yeah,
got,
of course, Big Blue Nation. It's gonna be
You
another
ain't coming
class.
into Nashville and beating Tennessee second time in a week. Stop it.
It's gonna be
bro?
a fantastic game. Kentucky. We're gonna
They're
we're gonna do it again. Kentucky's gonna beat
going to hang
Tennessee.
100 on you again.
Nah,
We'll see.
I see. We'll see. Kentucky's gonna. They're gonna see why. We're gonna show you all why we're the king of the SEC in college basketball.
Just remember, they only pressed for the final 3 minutes in that game on Saturday, and it changed the flow of the game, and it was huge advantage Tennessee. Remember, they dumped 100 on you in Lexington. If they come out and press you from start to finish like they did the last 3 minutes in Knoxville, you ain't beating them.
Kentucky will be ready. The defense, hey, now that they know how to play some, they'll be ready. Let.
Hey,
I like this one. I like this one comment. It says Tennessee can't score enough. They're top 5 in the nation in offensive efficiency. Where does that come from that they can't score enough?
that's okay. Hey, Kentucky can score too. So let's
Don't
just
forget,
hey,
it's gonna be
let's
great.
just
It's
have
gonna be a
a
great
let's just
game.
have a 115 to a 113 ball game. How about that, then?
Yeah,
That regardless of who wins that ball game, that would be fun.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
So, hey, someone said, Christian said he ain't picking Kentucky. He said, never in my life, not even for once. Face blue smiling. Christian's never going to pick them.
No, it's not that. I
And
think
along
Texas A&M has the weapons to make a deep run.
Yeah,
Whether they do or not is another story.
I
I
got you.
think
I
they've
think
got the
Kentucky's going to be
weapons.
ready for that game. Yeah. I think DJ Wagner looked. I think he sat on the bench and watched us play Texas A&M and would have gave his left leg to get on the floor and be able to play that night. And I think these guys are ready to come out. They're not the same team. That they're not the same team who just even lost at a tip off. At a tip in against LSU. I think Kentucky's just going to come out. I think they're going to be locked in, ready to go. The good thing about it is, for some of the teams, when you look at the Tennessee, at the Auburn's, the teams who are clearly in the tournament, the pressure is not really there like it is for some. So sometimes when you put a teams back up against the wall, they just do special things.
Mhm.
It's
Remember, Georgia coming in as a 12 seed and winning the whole stinking thing.
that's it. So at
I
this
mean,
particular
it
point, people,
happens.
yeah, we just gotta who.
Now,
Hey, someone said
so
who?
I don't follow Kentucky as much as what you guys do. Who's the
Yeah,
big white kid? Who's the big tall white kid, real thin, frail looking dude?
Big Z.
yeah,
Whoever it was, he was horrible against Tennessee. And the idea that this kid is a difference maker, he don't fit the SEC. I weigh as much as he does, and he's 7 foot tall.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what though? The thing about it though is he may not be as physical as we would want him to be. Aaron Bradshaw may not be as physical as we want him to be. But the key thing is, people keep talking about is, hey man, Kentucky doesn't play defense. But when it matters the most, Kentucky finds a way, even with their defense being so horrible, they always seem to find a way down the stretch to get enough stops when it's mattered the most to win a ball game. So, and keep in mind, when we beat Tennessee, not sure if you knew this or not, Chris, but our three bigs and a dude didn't score one single point, and we beat Tennessee at Tennessee. Our bigs. When's the last time has a team's bigs? None of them scored a point, and the other team got beat. Do you think our bigs won't score in these games coming up? Oh yeah. You think Cal didn't mention that? Oh yeah. But the point is though, our bigs, they did just enough when it mattered, especially Ugo. He set the tone early in the ball game against Tennessee. And I think that was a difference maker because you could tell after so long, Tennessee was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't go in there. So they had to settle for those long outside shots. That's why James didn't have a solid game. That's why Ziegler didn't have a solid game. It's because Kentucky said, we ain't having at this game. DK, you get yours. That's okay. But all you other guys, James, Sigler, you guys are not scoring 26 points apiece on us. It's just not happening today. And we stepped up and we did what we wanted to do.
So
We
you're
got
two.
I want to correct this thing over here in the chat because this guy said
okay.
I don't follow UK and I'm talking. Well, that's not what I said. I said I don't follow them as much as these guys do. These guys bleed blue. I don't.
Yeah.
And the next comment, UK is the hottest team in the country. You've won 5 in a row. Congratulations. Houston, on the other hand, has won 9 in a row. And they're ranked in the top 3.
Yeah.
Houston is much hotter than Kentucky. And if we're being honest, James Madison has won 13 straight.
Yeah, but is anybody really looking for James Madison to make a big splash in March? Maybe.
I
Maybe.
mean,
Hey,
that
it's always
might
a
be
good
a team you
Cinderella
don't
team.
want to run into. Yeah.
That's true. It's a few of those mid-major teams that we would like to be like, you guys just go to a different bracket. You guys just go away.
Right.
Yeah, but I think overall, I think this is going to be a fun year because teams have Teams have been kind of up and down all year long, and I think at the end of the day, I just think it's going to be a slugfest in all these ball games. And I just think Kentucky finally has the guards that can go into March Madness and actually win some ball games because we have
And
elite guards. So I think that's the
and
difference.
and while I'm thinking about it, the hottest team in the country, Houston's won 9 in a row, and they just beat Kansas by 30.
Yeah,
You know, the
but you
same
know what? But
the
you know
same
what?
Kansas. It's the same Kansas that beat Kentucky,
Yeah,
and
but
they
they
just
beat
got
Kentucky.
beat by Houston by 30.
Yeah, but they beat Kentucky. That was the first. That was the first part of the year. We didn't, bro. We're completely different.
So are
Kentucky.
they.
Look. Hunter didn't have no 7-footer to contest him all ball game. All ball game. He's 7 foot. He weighs 265 pounds, 280 pounds. He should have had 30 points. You know what I'm saying?
But
So,
I I'm just using that as a reference.
yeah.
That,
Oh,
that
absolutely.
Kansas did beat Kentucky, and
Yeah.
Houston just beat them by 30.
Well, you got to keep in mind, Kansas lost a 29-point game about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago against Iowa. I think it was Iowa State. So Kansas has taken really two major losses
Yeah.
by significant lot. So just like um, we just got to see how this. We got to just see how this unfolds. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be fun March. Best time of the year, hands down by far. And hopefully our teams, um, we don't disappoint. Hoping the SEC shows up and represents for sure. And we're just going to see what happens at the end of the game. No, it's not. KU is in the same injury. Yeah, I don't even think KU is gonna. They might not make it out the first weekend because I think Hunter's hurt, so I'm not even sure if he's even going to be in the tournament or not. I haven't did too much research on it, but I think he got hurt in the last ball game.
Yes.
So and of course that makes a big difference too with the way the way that the Houston blew out Kansas is Hunter got hurt. And would it have made that much of a difference? I don't know because Houston is that team. But you
They're
never
a
know
great
how that.
defensive team. Houston's a good defensive team. That's what they rely on. It's not necessarily offense, but
Someone said Vandy is going
Let
to
me
win the 2026 SEC tournament. Chris, I think you guys will 100% win. Hey,
so
someone's trending up.
here's the thing. So here's the thing. If we fire Jerry Stackhouse and we bring in this guy that is a pretty good coach, he may have even beaten Kentucky in the NCAA tournament. I don't know. I'd have to double check it. His name is Chris Mack.
Who?
Chris Mack.
That coached at Louisville?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right.
You do know in 2020 they were on the roll to be a number 1 seed before they canceled the season.
yeah,
We was going to have a good year that year too. We was going to make a run that year too. Yeah.
So was Louisville. They were on the line for a number 1 seed.
yeah.
Who?
So
No.
you can say what you want about Chris Mack, but he had that. He was a victim of circumstance. They were on the roll to be a number 1 seed, and COVID happened. It completely changed the program. He struggled in 21, and they got rid of him.
Yeah, it was a lot of insights. It was a lot of
If
insights.
20 and 12 is a bad year for a coach, I'll take it.
I got you. 20 and 12. That's a bad year. So, well, hey guys, thank you guys for jumping on here. I know it's last minute. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. SEC basketball is at an all-time high right now. Everyone's loving it. The play across the board overall is pretty even in a sense. And I just think this SEC tournament is going to be fun to watch. While people say it really doesn't matter for some of those teams that's already got locked, I think Auburn could benefit from winning it all. I think Florida or Alabama could benefit from winning it all. Heck, honestly, I think Kentucky can benefit from winning it all. I, you know, I think if Tennessee wins the whole tournament, I think that really helps their chances of getting number one seed in March
Yeah.
Madness. If they don't win it all, I kind of see North Carolina taking that last four seed. I mean, that last number one seed. So in a sense, and of course, the teams who are on the bubble are not in the tournament. You win it all, you automatically get to go. So while people say, "Oh, it's just a tournament," it doesn't really mean a whole lot. In the bigger scheme of things, I think if you break it down and really look at what's at stake this year, I think every team could actually benefit from actually winning the tournament. And I think that's why it's going to be so intriguing. But yes, like you said, as far as Tennessee goes, Tennessee's in the tournament. They're going to be a 1 or 2 seed. It hands down. That's the 2 seed at worst is locked up. Kentucky, we can move up to a 3 seed guaranteed. I think they got us on the 3 line right now, but it's still on the fence a little bit. So I think at the end of the day, the winner, even advancing, and depends on, as they say, depends on who you play. Not really if you win it, but who you play and who you beat. That can play good with the committee come Sunday afternoon when the committee meets. So thank you guys. I
So
appreciate it.
I
Man,
have a
this is
little I have a little bit of trivia for everybody.
okay. What's up?
Can everybody tell me what yesterday was?
Yesterday.
Yes. It was the anniversary of something.
Hope it wasn't nothing of Vandy beating Kentucky.
It was the 12-year anniversary of John Jenkins and company going into Bridgestone Arena and running away with the SEC tournament. 12 years ago yesterday, they cut down the nets and won the championship.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking for Kentucky to cut them down this year. Go Cats.
Yeah. And Sunday afternoon, you'll have Reed Shepherd, Justin Edwards, and Antonio Reeves make the all-tournament team, and Kentucky cuts the nets down to beat Tennessee in the SEC championship game.
That's it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Hey, thank you guys. Someone said, "Who cares?" If you guys don't know, Chris is part of my second and third team. He's my Vandy guy, and he's a history buff. So he's another Corey Price. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining. I guess I get up from here and get ready to go to work. I don't really want to go, but thank you guys once again. Go SEC, and let's make this right here a SEC tournament to remember. Blue gets in for sure.
I love the comment. We're talking about now. Yeah, and
Yeah.
right now, the word in Nashville is Jerry Stackhouse is gone, and there's 3 names in the running, which is Stephen Pearl, Bucky McMillan, and if you don't know who that is, you do your research, and Chris Mack. And yes, Chris Mack has been on campus often this year and has been spotted at the athletic offices this week. Don't be surprised if Chris Mack is our next head coach.
Well, I guess Kentucky will own Chris Mack like we did in Louisville. So it's one of those things. Let's go. Hey. Roll Cats, dog. You know what I'm saying? Roll Cats. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And you guys have a great evening.
You too.